for yourself and you want to achieve it.
Wow, we are definitely running on time tonight. Off to a start already. Oh, wow.
That's an interesting first fight. That's a really good place to get it, because then you can just like route that in after you do your Kakariko checks, assuming you go to Kakariko first.
Yeah, it's, you know, I don't necessarily think that I would want to find that at Uncle's house. Maybe in like Blind's hut would be a little better. I want to get a little bit more value for escape, but it's not bad to get out of the way.
Bomb escape.
Yeah, bomb escape. Well, it could be worse. It could be Burna escape.
I guess, though, weirdly enough, I was looking at the runner bios, and VinylKnight actually said that he would prefer the Burna escape to the bomb escape, so...
I did see that as well, and I'm going to disagree with VinylKnight. I'm going to say he's wrong. There's no good time to have a Burna escape sequence. So it looks like we're going to have to keep in mind a little bit of desync here for the first couple minutes, but most likely it'll sync up.
I think the thing most runners don't like about bomb escape is you're used to escape kind of being like a really, like kind of being like the same 6 minutes over and over again. Like you kind of know what to expect, and then like once you get bomb escape, you're kind of automatically like you already have to think about manipulating enemy positions like Alpha had to do there. Like it's not a fun time.
Unfortunately, bombs, you know, it does make the sequence more difficult, but if you practice it, you can get through it with just 5 bombs, and if you're efficient with it, you have some left over for Kakariko. As long as you don't go too far into the game before you find a weapon, you'll be okay. You don't want to have to do bomb land molus or hitting crystal switches in Hero with bombs. Then it just gets ridiculous.
I don't think I've ever had a seed that forced me to do bomb land molus yet, so that's an exciting possibility.
Looks like both players do have a little bit of practice in. Alpha did exactly the correct bomb positioning on that vanilla boomerang guard.
Yeah.
So of all of the so I'm thinking here, like what progression item would you like to find first?
Progression. I usually like to find the bow first, just because that's sometimes an item that can be in some very weird locations. So it's nice to like kind of get that out of the way and have one less headache to deal with later on.
I could not agree with you more. Bow, 100% required and used in so few places can be absolutely really difficult to find. I like seeing the lamp pretty early, even though that might imply you have an Aga play. It's always nice to have that free light cone.
I don't think anyone ever complains about an early lamp. That makes a lot of the rooms in the game so much easier. No one, like, I'm sure our runners have some practice with dark rooms, but no one really wants to do dark rooms.
I was watching a scene the other day where both players completed every single dark room in the game, and then they found the lamp. It was just like, oh well, I guess it. At this point, you just might as well give the tracker something to do, I suppose.
Free button to click right there.
Yeah, we love our trackers, and Nimban is usually on top of things. Not much to work with though so far. Shovel, and that is the extent of what we have found item-wise.
Double, we're not going to see that payoff until, like, you know, for another 5-6 minutes maybe.
I'd like to see at least one of our runners just not use the shovel out of spite. You know, like, I got this at Uncle, I'm gonna use this after Aga 2 and right before Ganon. And that'll be where the silver arrows are. Oh, Alpha down to just one bomb.
Half a heart, and I haven't... Not sure how...
Oh!
Oh, man.
The rat dropped the key, but he died before he picked it up. Not the worst place to die. The game does give you a couple extra bombs. Only 3 though. Wow, stingy game.
Before the later part of Escape, it'll restart you with like another 10 bombs. But if you die like after you rescue the princess, the game just says, "Hey, hard part's over. You only get 3 bombs now."
Well, that's good to know. I'll never consider a death warp in the back of Escape to refill my bombs at this point. VinylKnight also really trying to kill himself.
That's there, but there's a couple free hearts in here, so he'll be able to pick those up.
At least we get the hookshot as payoff. The map wasn't looking so good, but hookshot is value. And this is going to be really bad for AlphaChannel. Using his last bomb here on the key rat means he is not going to be able to pick up that hookshot until later on.
To dip back into Escape, so hopefully he needs gloves and lamp for that Dark World entry, and you don't get something crazy like a flute needed to get to hookshot to the right side of Death Mountain to get the bombs.
that was great. VinylKnight getting an 8-bomb drop and then running through the door, having to backtrack for it. Oh. It's a shame you can't pull the left lever there and then collect all the bombs that just fall from the sky.
That'd make riding to Kakariko so much easier.
Yeah, 60 rupees. You know, some people in this situation would save and quit and start at Link's house, maybe try to take the southern route to farm for a bomb. Hopefully, we'll find something on the trees, and we do get the 1 bombs on the trees. That's at least going to get AlphaChannel some Kakariko bombs and save him from having to spend all his rupees at the bomb shop.
Indeed, that's a nice find, and that means that you can route Kakariko pretty normally, you know, like check Thieves' Hut and the well, and then just kind of route down and, you know, maybe check that shovel afterwards.
Yeah, VinylKnight, though, has a significant advantage at this point with the hookshot. Not in the sense that it opens up progression, but it gives you twice as fast movement speed without the charge up of the boots, and it's really effective at taking out, you know, the birds, all the weak enemies. It's definitely something that, you know, without any other weapon, is nice to have.
That'll make the mini Molder McCabe easier. And speaking of being able to move faster through the overworld, look at what we're coming up on here.
Yeah, that's a nice find there. That is going to definitely make routing and shovel even more appealing. Really no reason to do it now, especially because they'll be able to pick up their library item on the way.
They'll be able to clear out that entire south section.
So really, we are gonna. I hope we get some indication of where we're supposed to go out of this Kakariko trip. If we don't get any obvious progression, we'll just be doing a standard South Shore item hunt. It'd be nice to find a book or a bow or a mirror, something that tells you where to go next.
Yeah, that sword that they just got is pretty helpful, but it doesn't really tell them where to go. And hey, also Moon Pearl.
Sword and Moon Pearl, a lot of value there. Moon Pearl, you know, one of your 3 Dark World items. Arguably, you know, well, not arguably, the most important of the 3, because it lets you actually do things in the Dark World.
Yeah.
But picking up a sword, though, that's going to even things out for AlphaChannel now, not having that hook shot. What'll really be interesting is if we find either the flute or the mitts and the lamp, or just the mitts if they're up to a sequence break. There's the mitts right there. They can sequence break up the Death Mountain, like you mentioned earlier. VinylKnight can actually get a lot of value up there. Alpha can just get the save point.
Yeah, he can get the save point, but I would kind of think that after he goes to Death Mountain, he would probably check the back of his cave just to like that VinylKnight found bombs in there, so he may be, or he was able to maintain his bombs in there, so he may be trying to dive back in pretty soon. Oh, and there's our...
Well, they now have Dark World access, so back of escape might be pretty low on his list of priorities.
It's back there, but yeah.
Dark World access and emits. Oh my god!
World access.
Double Dark World access.
Yeah.
Man, that's not even a buffer on VinylKnight's side. That's just standing still trying to figure out where the heck do I go with all of this access.
For you. And neither runner going for the 300 rupees there. That's fairly interesting. Oh, there Alpha goes.
Yeah, I agree with you, especially this early in the game. I mean, that's your Zora money right there, but even without Zora, if you're going to do early Dark World access, you're going to need money for chest game, for digging game, and the 50 rupees from the shovel doesn't even get picked up. VinylKnight might come to find himself a little bit short on cash and might regret not picking up that 300.
There might be like more cash to come in other chests that he doesn't have to take time to actually grab.
We'll see. I mean, you know, the runners get to pick their own routes. We can only complain about it passively, I guess. And of course, there's more progression.
Why wouldn't there be?
So, what? Go mode 18 minutes in. That's what we're looking at, right?
Pendants are, or what the Dark World crystals are.
Oh my god! I don't really think it matters what the crystals are. We are on the fast track to go mode.
Death Mountain is now entirely in logic, so VinylKnight maybe he may want to wait for a cane or the fire rod just in case Turtle Rock is a crystal that he has to clear. But yeah, that's a ton of chests up on Death Mountain that he can pretty easily grab right now.
Well, there's 5 items here in Mini Moldorum Cave. So lamp, both rods, the
more immediately useful.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be at least 3 progression items here.
Owen.
Wow, nothing. I was expecting Samaria, Burna, Ice Rod, Fire Rod, and Silver Arrows. Wow, this makes a lot of sense. You can check King's Tomb, the Bong Rocks, and then go activate your flute, and then head up to Death Mountain. I I don't even know what else you'd want to do. Go clear Eastern?
You can do it unless you want to wait for the mirror in order to get that, in order to get the clear in. And Sword Out of King's Tomb.
Yeah, there's gotta be some troll item in here at some point. It can't be this generous. Oh, I figured it out. We're gonna have go mode at 18 minutes, but it's gonna be Ganon fight with 3 hearts. I think that's what's gonna happen.
One hit KO mode, but you know what we're doing? One hit KO.
Well, they'll have red mail, of course, but still 3 hearts. Because I can't see where. I mean, where are you even going to put the heart containers? You're using up all the available chests for bows and flutes and everything else.
The Master Sword.
Well, this makes a lot of sense. TheVinylKnight, having the hook shot, knows that there's actually something he can do up here. Old Man item, Paradox Cave, 7 items in Paradox Cave, Spiral, Spectacle Rock. Alpha, without that hook shot, makes sense to check Dark World, and he's got the money, he can actually play the chest game.
Exactly, you can check all these kind of one-off checks, or not one-off checks, but like you can get rid of all this batch around the Thieves Town area.
Well, Pendant Thieves Town, you know that's a trap. You gotta go in there. And AlphaChannel, at least opening it up.
Opening it. It's initial play to Dark World, so he may just trick the first 4 and then take a quick Death Warp out of there.
I don't know. You have the hammer. It's telling you something. It's telling you go in here. It's a trap, I tell you.
Something that no runner really wants to see. And because, like, you know, it's one of those short dungeons that you really want to get out of the way, like, as quick as you can, but when it's a pendant, you're like, the play.
So waiting for the tracker to update with the other items. I saw Skullwoods was a crystal, and I didn't catch any of the other locations.
Pendant was Turtle Rock, I remember. I can't remember what the other 5/6 crystal was off the top of my head.
Well, that's interesting. Pendant Turtle Rock, Pendant Hera, Pendant Thieves Town. Hera and Thieves Town, you know, those are 2 that you definitely want to be crystals because they're really easy to clear early on. Pendant Turtle Rock, that you want to be a crystal because the game almost always makes you go in there.
Yeah. Have to worry about finding the ice rod in the seed, hopefully.
Well, I do have that feeling that we've kind of, you know, gotten our progression lottery out of the way for a little while, and it's just going to be a lot of heart pieces and arrow upgrades.
AlphaChannel might think that might be wanting some of those heart containers, considering he only has 4 hearts in the Thieves Town play.
Ah, got the God Pixel though. Yeah, he flew right past there.
Yeah.
AlphaChannel doesn't need any extra hearts.
He's just gonna run through this dungeon like it's nothing.
These are the rooms, though, that you absolutely would really like to have the hook shot to take out those radioactive, mega rats.
Well, these guys do 1 heart of damage, that's no joke right there. Ooh, man. A half a heart in Thieves Town, and TheVinylKnight only has fun this Death Mountain play here.
Where did he grab the book? I missed that.
It was on the old man.
Oh, okay. And he can full clear Super Bunny Cave and all 4 items in Hookshot Cave. Another disadvantage that AlphaChannel is going to have if he heads up here, only being able to get the first item in Hookshot Cave. And I just do not see him doing Back of Escape for a long time.
And he also skipped King's Tomb, so he may be waiting to find the mirror before he makes his way to that area.
If you get early boots and early mitts, King's Tomb is a really, really easy light world check. So I don't blame TheVinylKnight at all for routing that in, and it definitely paid off for him.
Have a better time going through the dungeons once he, decides to dip into a dungeon. And Ice Palace isn't logic, right? Oh wait, no, we don't have the flippers. Forgot about that for a second.
Yeah, I think that you have enough open to you at this point that you don't need to sequence break another dungeon. But even if they did, I wouldn't want to go in the Ice Palace, with 5 hearts even. So far, no value in Hookshot Cave. I saw an arrow upgrade. Last chest here ends up being a full heart, which actually is kind of really good for them at the moment.
We're starting to see the progression dry up just a little bit after that really intense Zero Sphere that we had.
Well, it can't last forever. All good things,
Yeah, it's rando. It never does.
So I learned something new today. Oh, wow, the 3rd sword. It has been a few minutes since we've gotten the sword upgrade, so I guess we're due. We're gonna end this game with like 9 sword upgrades at this rate.
Someone just accidentally turned on easy mode.
Yeah, exactly. Where's the quarter magic? So, I learned something new earlier about the blacksmiths. Tell me if you knew this or not. Did you know that if you take the blacksmith to Kiki will eat the blacksmith?
I knew that. Yeah, you can't have more than 1 follower.
But I didn't know the other one would obliterate the first one.
Until I saw it like a couple months ago on a different stream. Alright, so AlphaChannel went to the Back of Escape, finally got that
Yeah, I will admit I'm surprised that he decided to go back there, but it was a good play and gets him up to tempered. Yeah, I do agree with you, Nimban. It is something that you don't want to forget. I know in open mode. Typically, the second you get the gloves, you check Back of Escape. He had so many different places he could go. I thought it might be easy for it to slip his mind, but he's he's in the tournament. He's racing, not me, so he knows what he's doing. Wow, flippers.
Now Ice Palace is in logic.
Now Ice Palace is fully in logic. Might as well go clear ice, I guess.
I mean, why not, you know? Quite yet. Alpha is probably going to clear off the rest of the south. He's probably going to be grabbing the purple chest here, then heading on over to Hype Cave.
Yeah, it's a little bit inconvenient without the mirror. You know, you give up your graveyard ledge check, you give up your K45 check. These could have good items, but with everything they found at this point, probably just a piece of heart. I think that was a Death Warp from Vinyl.
I suppose he might have just like run into the jellyfish there just after doing the bomb jump.
Yeah, that looked like he was just trying to get a health top off. It's never good to walk out of there with 1 heart and then have to ran to the Dark World again.
Yeah, you never want to take an overworld death.
So to chat, Cave 45 is the cave south of the Grove in the Dark World that you need to access by mirroring into the Light World. It should be called Cave South of Grove, but it has an internal identifier of 45, and that's how it shows up in the spoiler logs. So it kind of just became a thing everyone says, but it's absolutely unclear. But we do it anyway, for no reason.
It just kind of showed up on a map with the number 45 attached to it.
I'll admit, first time I saw a spoiler log and there was progression in Cave 45, I had to jump on the Discord and be like, where's Cave 45? I've been playing this game for, 26 years, but I don't know where Cave 45 is.
Learning Randomizer is learning where everything is, and the second hardest part is learning everything's meme name.
What is that? Assyria Cave Fortify? Can't like that. Cave Fortify. Oh yeah, that makes sense. It's gonna be Cave Fortify from now on. It's the strong and impenetrable cave with the sheer cliff that you can only access via mirror from an alternate dimension. That's how heavily fortified it is.
Usually fortifies your defenses by giving you a heart piece.
Well, VinylKnight making the Thieves Town play as well. We saw AlphaChannel bail out of this a little earlier. Unfortunately, he took a death with, I think it was 3 hearts at the time, and he's up to a whopping 4 now. VinylKnight, 7's nothing to be super happy about, but it's not 3.
You got 7 hearts, you got blue mail, that's close enough.
Yeah, that's the green mail equivalent of 14 hearts, and what do you normally get when you're here in NMG? Like 10? 9?
Heart. Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
It's 8 hearts, yeah.
8 hearts, and you got this is 14. This is easy mode.
MG, so he's probably a little bit used to this dungeon right here.
Well, I can tell you that he's definitely never come in here in NMG with the Titan's mitts already. or the hook shot, probably.
Didn't get hookshot until much later.
Oh, down to half a heart. Don't die. Don't. Oh, ouch. The non-harmless Hellway claimed its first victim for the night.
It's out of there.
Yeah, Nimman, that was brutal. He was surrounded by an anti-fairy. Those, I don't even, what's the name of those enemies that teleport around like and phase in and out? What's the name of those guys? Anyone know?
Oh, I don't know their lore name. I know the meme name is Patrick Stars.
Starfish. All right. Yeah, 2 starfish and an anti-fairy. That's in a corner with a statue and a spike. And a half a heart. I don't care who you are, you're not getting out of that one alive.
At that point, you just take the Death Warp and you come back to Thieves Town if you have to.
Yeah, Andy would have died there.
Yeah.
So it looks like a Aegis Cave check or a Desert Ledge, which Alpha can't get at the moment, not having that book, and then an Aegis Cave check. Wow, where does AlphaChannel go next? I don't think either players checked the Sash's hut, or they haven't gone in the Eastern.
Gone to that part of the map yet, so I think they do have the bow, so Eastern would be a pretty good play, assuming that they're comfortable with the dark rooms.
Yeah, they would have to sequence break that last dark room. Oh wow, the mirror in Hype Cave. At this point, that's definitely hype.
Swamp Cave once VinylKnight picks up his flippers, so
I think Swamp Palace actually makes a pretty appealing play. They can full clear Swamp, one of their red crystals, and wow, Lamp and Ice Rod Cave, that's going to put all of Eastern in logic and let them full clear their second red crystal, Desert Palace.
and that is a very good item to find at that moment.
Yeah, that's another one of those locations that VinylKnight might not check for a little while, kind of out of the way. So
Todd. Oh, go ahead.
No, please, Walsh, continue.
Channel hasn't gone to Hype Cave yet, so he's going to be kind of doing pod on its own, whereas VinylKnight, assuming he decides to go to pod, is going to be able to route that in with Eastern Saha check.
Well, they both have items that the other one could greatly benefit from. VinylKnight looks like he is making that pod Eastern combo play, but he's going to have to do this in the dark. It's not impossible, of course, but without even the fire rod, the pod turtle room can definitely be a challenge, especially with low health. AlphaChannel, on the other hand, has the lamp, so everything he's doing is in logic, but doesn't have the mirror to make pod navigation easier. Really interesting. I don't think I've ever seen a divergence and a sync quite like this.
Exactly.
So I won't be surprised if VinylKnight does Eastern first, just hoping to find a few items that'll make pod a little bit easier.
Another thing that the lamp does is that, so Desert Palace, once Alpha gets the mirror, is going to be full clearable, so that's another crystal that he'll be able to get.
The mirror or the book will both get him in the desert, and of course that lamp is the only fire source he needs. It's possible that they do pick up the fire rod in here, which will make Palace of Darkness a little bit easier for VinylKnight. Otherwise, you know, that dark turtle room can really be difficult. And Alpha still hasn't been up to Death Mountain.
Yeah, and he may be playing against his opponent here because he may be figuring that his opponent got the hook shot way before him, and he may have gone just straight to Death Mountain. So he may be trying to delay that Death Mountain play until it's a little bit more lucrative for him. Like the Turtle Rock gamble.
That absolutely makes sense. Alpha's definitely having a little bit of an easier time with these dungeons with the Tempered Sword upgrade. Makes a big difference.
TheVinylKnight might be waiting till he wants to do the purple chest in order before he does the hammer pegs, and there is that fourth sword down in the logic somewhere.
He might be motivated to do it a little bit earlier now. With the mirror, he'll at least be able to complete that quest chain series a bit faster.
Nice hammer jump out of AlphaChannel there.
Yeah, but rewarded with the map in the big chest? That's a bit of a disappointment. Really, it's really efficient routing from AlphaChannel, though. If you don't have the mirror and you're able to do that hammer jump, it saves you having to walk all the way out of this maze or take a death warp. So really nice thinking ahead there.
Yeah. You know, it's handy to know some of these NMG tricks.
You can just feel the pain here. AlphaChannel running around with his lamp cone, showing off what these dark rooms look like. TheVinylKnight, 1 heart left in the second room of Eastern, fighting that Igor.
And this Eastern dark room, this is one of the harder. Yeah, that's one of the harder dark rooms in the game.
He came out, and I thought he was going to jump down and grab a fairy, but didn't grab the fairy, and looks like he's noping out on Eastern for the moment. Maybe hoping to find a fire source in over here in Pod, which we know is not going to happen. Yeah, if he had jumped down into the pot there and picked up the fairies, yeah, would have topped him off, and I probably could have given that another attempt.
Safeties are in these dungeons.
What was that, Walsh?
To like know where your safeties are in those dungeons, and kind of like know your own abilities and what you can do.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes they can be really out of the way, but in Eastern at least, they're pretty convenient to get to. I'm not sure. I'm trying to think of where all the safeties are. Palace of Darkness has a fairy room on the right-hand side. I don't know if every dungeon does.
I think once you get to the later dungeons, like the game is kind of designed where it just assumes that you have powder and gives you a lot of anti-fairies to sprinkle.
I do think that's the case. I mean, AlphaChannel has that powder, so that's definitely an option for him. But a much easier time with the lamp. I think people tend to maybe overvalue the pod Eastern combo a little bit. If you have the mirror, there's no doubt that it's faster. But if you have the flute, just going back to 5 and walking up the right-hand side to get to Eastern, I haven't timed it, but I'd be surprised if it's more than an extra 30 seconds.
Yeah. And it's a minor efficiency, but when you... My thought there, but yeah, like, when you're in a race, you're looking for any extra advantage you can get, so...
Absolutely, everything matters. I'm just saying that, you know, AlphaChannel going to clear Pendant Eastern at this point is absolutely a great move. Has no reason to wait until he finds a mirror.
This also has the added benefit of a... Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
But yeah, this just had the extra added benefit of, like, you know, clearing up the zero sphere, because, like, you know, that set of items that you have that are available to you, like, once you start the game, like, once you get those chests out of the way, then you kind of feel a little more relaxed that you're not, like, leaving something somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. I've had... They do want us to call it Sphere 1 officially when we talk about it. Sphere 0 is essentially your green tunic. But I know exactly what you mean, though. You know, they talk about how the logic works, and you know, they say that items are essentially seeded starting from the end of the game, working your way back. But I can't shake that personal feeling that if there's something in one of those initial Sphere 1 locations, you just have to check it.
Yeah, exactly. Unattended for too long.
Yeah, you lose enough races because there was some progression in an Ice Rod Cave or a Gina's Cave, and then you just, you know, you don't forget them anymore. But some runners, one runner that I watch a lot, he basically says from the start of the game, Gina is dead to him. Like, he will not go there unless he's doing other things in desert, just because it's too far out of the way. And if that costs him a race, then so be it. So it's interesting to see different runners have different opinions on things like that.
There's a lot of different philosophies that many different, like, random runners have, which is kind of like the cool thing about this game. Like, it supports all these different play styles and whatnot. Like, it's really cool to see that competitive in this game.
Yeah, there's we only have, you know, a couple dozen people here at the moment, and this is a randomizer channel, so I'm guessing most of you guys probably played this, but anyone who hasn't, I do strongly encourage that you give it a try, because it's wicked fun, and it's free to play in the actual sense of free to play, and not the we're going to pretend to be free and then charge you $500 a week for progression sense.
Nice, exactly.
Vanilla Eastern Big Key. And we're gonna get a nice treat here on AlphaChannel's side, heading into the room, unfortunately, that took out Vinyl, and we get to see what it's like with the lamp.
It's a lot easier when you can see everything that's happening.
Vinyl just collected more and more heart pieces here. That's all he gets off of the catfish, but it's a really efficient way to route Zora in. And despite his disdain for free money lying around, he does have enough to complete this.
He did find enough money and like just chests that were on his way, so I guess he was right for not taking the time to bonk the library.
Yeah, but the game really had to go out of its way and force him to get the money. If it was just, yeah, just next to you on the ground, it's not picking it up. I can see Zora dropping a 300 and he won't pick it up.
I mean, at that point, you just don't need money anymore.
Well, it depends on how many times you need to buy your blue potions. That's money well spent, though. Red Cane, absolutely a required item to complete our Crystal Misery Mire. Opting to skip out on the Red Boomerang, however, absolutely not required item to help with absolutely nothing, unless you want to increase your lag time at the end of the game.
Exactly, and he used a blue boomerang for some of the strats in Gan's Tower anyways, so blue's a better boomerang for sure.
So bombos for Misery Mire, we can go in here and we can full clear it. But after that Eastern Dark Room, I don't know how comfortable Vinyl Knight is going to be with the Mire Dark Rooms. He also ended up skipping Palace of Darkness Dark Rooms.
Hoping to find, the lamp or the fire rod. And this is interesting because now we are a fire rod find away from no mode.
Yes, and AlphaChannel just picked up his Desert Palace access until he picks up the mirror, anyway. Then he'll have two. He can go full clear desert with his lamp. So this is an interesting dip for Vinyl Knight. Unless one of these two items is the fire rod, he's not going to be able to progress in this dungeon. There's the shield, and we still have one more item. Yeah, if it's on Land Mollis, he's not going to be able to get it. So finding the big key in the compass chest. Last option, is this the fire rod or not? No, just a compass. So he is not able to complete go mode. And
so he does have one more chest here.
Oh, the big key chest. Good point. Thank you. Let's get some big chest hype for the fire rod. Well, he's getting all the heart pieces anyway, but no fire sources. So discussion of some common terms for benefit of chat. We use go mode and no mode a lot. Go mode is when the runners have obtained all of the items they need to complete the game. It doesn't necessarily mean all the items, and all the items they need will vary from seed to seed based on which dungeons are crystals and which are pendants. We will call go mode if if they're still looking for their master sword, and it can be in Ganon's tower, and then we'll take it back because we're stingy like that if they don't find it. No mode, on the other hand, is the term we use when commentators and viewers know collectively across both of the runners where all of the items are and where they need to go. Yeah, the pedestal cannot have the ice rod or fire rod because they're both required to pick up the Turtle Rock pendant. We know where the lamp is. It can't have the medallion to get into Turtle Rock for the same reason. And we have the only other medallion we need being Bombos. The pedestal could have utility items like the silver arrows, but we're not going to see anybody clear 3 pendant dungeons just for those. I think you'd agree with that, right, Walsh? We're not going to clear three pendants for the silvers.
I know silvers do save a little bit of time on Ganon, but not 3 dungeons worth of time. As long as Turtle Rock.
So, VinylKnight, back into Thieves Town here. This is his second dip into Pendant Thieves Town. Unfortunately, taking that death earlier. Vinyl is not finding the progression that he needs. AlphaChannel up two crystals already. Vinyl yet to obtain either a pendant or a crystal at 50 minutes in. Vinyl does have the advantage of having picked up the Cane of Samaria off the catfish. That's one item that AlphaChannel might not go pick up, or Zora rather, not the catfish. Still, it's a little bit out of the way, and Alpha might pick some other places to go first.
VinylKnight going back to Thieves Town, he may just be doing this to just kind of put it out of his mind. You know, like kind of like clear, like kind of like, you know, clear his mind a little bit, just because, you know, he died in this dungeon and he doesn't want to leave items in here. You know, like some runners will be fine, you know, taking the first 4 out of Thieves Town and then just bouncing out. But a lot of runners will try to full clear any dungeon that they enter. So behind this play that he's making.
Yeah, and there's AlphaChannel also picking up his red mail in the Mire Shed. Without the mirror, he's not able to check the checkerboard cave item. And even though he has the ability to enter into Misery Mire, he doesn't have the ability to clear it without the cane. And this is a very good play from AlphaChannel. With so many locations to go, you don't really want to try to find the cane in one of the 2 Mire locations.
Exactly. The happen, but that never necessarily means that it will happen. So, you know, it's good to like play a little bit conservatively in this race setting.
I would really like to see AlphaChannel go to Desert, and looks like he read my mind, because Desert he goes. Vinyl having a nice first round on blind, takes no damage, maintains his sword beams, textbook second round, and wow, third round, he even pulls out the hammer there. That's an excellent blind fight.
Indeed, very good first 2 phases, and then, you know, a lot of people kind of third from time to time, so, you know, understandable.
Hey, there's no shame in pulling out a Canis Maria or a Berna or a Cape for that third phase. There can be a lot of fireballs. But Vinyl Knight didn't need either. Didn't need any safeties. Another full heart. I think he's gotten more full heart pieces than full heart containers than hard pieces at this point. Oh, go in the hammer pegs. Nice.
Something that you want to pick up just because it's a lot more powerful than the Master Sword. It makes every boss fight a lot easier. Like, this is something that in the NMG run, they take like an extra minute and a half just to get, because it saves more than a minute and a half throughout the rest of the run. So likes to have like that offensive upgrade.
Yeah, there's a reason why Thieves Town is the second dungeon that you do in Dark World. It's really just to get that sword. Hopefully this route, with the flute. I was gonna say hopefully this leads him over to Hype Cave, but with the flute he can just turn his purple chest in without having to go over there. So we might still be lampless for a little while.
It was actually an Ice Rod Cave.
I thought, yes, you're right. Hype Cave was the mirror.
Hype Cave, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, it's AlphaChannel that needs to go to Hype Cave. Yeah, that said, the lack of the mirror really hasn't kept him from anything yet. It's not going to be absolutely required until he needs to go to Swamp Palace, and routing Hype Cave in with Swamp Palace would actually be really advantageous for him. He might find the mirror and then just stay in the Dark World and go clear Swamp. Yeah, this is a huge play for Vinyl. This is going to give him the confidence he needs to go get those Pod and Eastern crystals, and maybe even go directly and do Desert and Misery Mire. That's a nice combo. We should see him getting 4 crystals pretty fast.
And again, that lamp is huge because it's looking more and more like the Fire Rod may be locked behind a light source, because you do need that light source to open a couple chests in Mire. You need that light source for Desert Palace.
Yeah, the question is, where's the Fire Rod going to be? That's the only item that we're still looking for that for Go Mode. And we know we're going to find it because we needed to get in the Skull Woods. So it's not going to be hiding up in Ganon's Tower anywhere, but it doesn't mean it couldn't be somewhere in Turtle Rock.
A Fire Rod and Laser Bridge is not something you ever want to see, but it is something that can happen. The key layout, but it can happen.
Well, if Skull Woods isn't a crystal, you could have Fire Rod in Ganon's Tower. And I've seen people do the right side of Ganon's Tower without the Fire Rod to light those torches. It's pretty impressive. Like, I shouldn't say people. I saw a person do it once. That's how rare it is.
I've only seen like the that like one Amazing Ampharos race where he had to do that, or else like Palace of Darkness or something.
I think we're talking about the same thing, because it was AA who did it in Ganon's Tower that I'm talking about.
I was like,
yeah, that's how rare it is that we both saw the same race the only time it happened. I remember during the interview he was saying that he had like look up how to do it like during the race.
First time he'd ever like done that bomb jump, and like had he not, I think he said like had he not had the fire shield, which both of our runners have found, he wouldn't have been able to complete it. Kind of going over each other's footsteps here, so I just want to take a moment to, you know, kind of urge anyone in the chat here to give these runners a follow. They're working real hard for, you know, your entertainment today, so, you know, it's just a nice thing to do.
Absolutely. I can't count the number of hours of free entertainment that I've gotten by watching all these runners in the tournament do these races. It's so much fun to watch. That worked out really well for AlphaChannel. I wasn't thinking he would get the cane quite as fast as he did, but rounding it in, that's going to let him full clear Misery Mire. If he picks up his Fire Rod in here, he'll be able to go mode Ice Palace and Swamp Palace, which is kind of the God mode layout.
Something that you definitely want to do, because those dungeons are the longest to full clear. So the two dungeons that make the most difference entering in go mode, because like you can skip so many chests and so many like way out of the way locations.
Yeah, and we did go a long time with a very low health seed, but they're at 11 and 13 hearts now with both having red mail, the tempered sword and powder, so they're past the point where you know, being concerned about go moding a later Dark World dungeon is an issue. So thank you to Iceman for the reminder. It still does need to do that mirror and Hype Cave. That could be unfortunate for him if he ends up full clearing ice looking for the mirror, or decides to dip into Tower of Hera or one of the pendants. It seems unlikely unless he outright forgot about Hype Cave, but hopefully he'll check it, find it, and then go directly to Swamp.
Exactly, like it may be like that'd be one of the most hype caves that we've ever seen. I don't think I've ever seen a go mode in hype cave.
Yeah, I don't know if I ever have, and like Nimban says in chat, it's something that is typically a very early Dark World check, but we had the hammer and both mitts at like 12 minutes in. They had all the Dark World access. They had the hook shot. They just had so many places to go. It's hard to believe, but Hype Cave was actually a not an item dense location relative to where else they could go. But yeah, we're definitely past that point now. The 5 items in Hype Cave is probably the single most item dense, quickest check remaining to either runner.
Exactly,
well,
yeah.
Not either runner, because VinylKnight already did it. But,
AlphaChannel, yeah.
Yeah, AlphaChannel. So Armor's given VinylKnight a little bit of trouble there. Down to, wow, this might be a Sword Armos.
Man.
Yeah. Sword Armos time.
Yeah, and an arrow, and then that last Armos Knight, his health refills after you defeat his 5 friends. So yeah, that's... See?
A little bit awkward there with the arrow capacity, but manages to pull off the Eastern Crystal. It gives him his second crystal, and he is now completely done with the pod Eastern region. So, where is he going to go next? Probably Misery Mire Desert, I would think.
Looks like this may be a swamp play.
This is definitely an interesting play. Being able to, having Mire and Desert there is full clearable dungeons. A lot of people would want to put Swamp off as long as they possibly could. The only thing that he's really looking for at this point is just the Fire Rod.
But you were talking about item density in relation to AlphaChannel a little bit earlier, and this, I think, might be... Like, you get 6 items out of Swamp, and... I mean, it's not the quickest deck in the world, but yeah.
Well, I was discussing this earlier. You talk about item density, but that really only matters when you're still looking for a lot of things. If you're trying to route things efficiently, you go for item density. If there's out of the way locations, you want to route them in so you don't have to backtrack. But if you're only looking for one thing, then it doesn't really matter how many items are in a place. If you never have to go check it, then it's going to be faster.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah, and Swamp definitely falls into that category. It's got 6 items, but if you never have to check the left 2 side, items, then you're going to save time.
Even with the boots, those are 2 pretty slow chests to check.
Yeah, it's not movement so much as it's just the layout of the dungeon, the backtracking, the swimming. Yeah, it's nothing new. We're not creating a left side. Everybody hates left side swamp meme or anything. This is a well established for decades. No one likes to do left side swamp.
Exactly. Yeah.
We get AlphaChannel about to head into his Vidi fight. No silvers, so gonna have to choose between burning through a lot of his arrows or using NNG sword spin strats. Looks like we're giving the end of the sword spins a try. Keep and dash strats are also a good option here.
We have a couple hits left on the ice here.
Looks like we got a little the variety pack of Vidi strats. We got arrows, sword spins, slashes, a keep dash. It's the AlphaChannel variety hour.
Looks like we actually got the Fire Rod off of VinylKnight's screen, so he is in go mode there.
Oh, that's going to be nice because he did not do the left side first. So now he's not going to have to. Was it in the vanilla compass room or the lower room of the top of Swamp? I didn't see where it was.
I think it was in the room below the big chest, whatever that room is.
The room with like the demon stairs.
The room
Below,
where you like push the room where you like have to push that block.
Oh, the vanilla compass room. Okay.
When Alpha taking the Bombos bait into Ice Palace.
I think it's possible that that he might not be remembering Hype Cave.
Is a possibility, yeah. Like one of the first areas that you check when you get your Dark World entry, so
Well, this is really really good for VinylKnight. VinylKnight had to double dip Thieves. Well, didn't have to double dip Thieves Town, but did double dip Thieves Town. Double dipped Eastern and Palace of Darkness, taking unfortunate deaths in each of those dungeons prior to obtaining his lamp. But following the logic, is now in go mode and has everything he needs to go mode Ice, Mire, and Skull Woods, and then just finish off the back of Desert Palace.
another point in his favor, I think the big key in Misery Mire was in that very first chest, so he's going to have a really fast Misery Mire as opposed to AlphaChannel, who had to full clear the dungeon.
Yeah, that's Godmire, Go Mode Ice, and he just has the back of Desert. These three crystals collectively are probably 5 or 6 minutes, and then Skull Woods isn't even a long dungeon. If he doesn't have to look for items, he just goes to back and kills Mothula. I mean, we might be 10 minutes away from Ganon's Tower.
And something like that.
What was that?
Or 15 minutes, something like that.
Yeah, but I mean, 4 crystals to go and being 10-15 minutes away, that's pretty fast. AlphaChannel, he's going to be full clearing Ice Palace, and we know he's not going to find anything in here. At least he got that early small key. That does make his routing a little bit easier, and it'll be a faster clear. But unfortunately, it's still all sunk time at this point.
Because he does have the crystal lead right now, but the more time he spends in Ice Palace, the actually has.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's finding the ice rod. That's not good.
No.
AlphaChannel, he does have a crystal lead at the moment, and he is clearing a crystal dungeon, so it's not it's not lost. It's not all lost time. He's just spending more time here than he has to. If his next move is to Hype Cave and he gets the mirror and then he goes right in the swamp, he'll be right back on track, and it's going to be a really close race. But if this diverts him up to Turtle Rock or Tower of Hera, then if he's thinking it might be, then that's going to slow him down.
At least he doesn't have the, as Iceman's pointing out, he doesn't have the medallion to get into Turtle Rock yet, so that could be a saving grace for him at this point.
I can never see those because they're so small, and the resolution on the stream is so low. It looks like Quake. So where was Quake? Because VinylKnight has it.
I don't remember. That may have been another Hype Cave find, but I don't want to. Sure.
Thieves Town Big Chest is what chat says.
Okay.
So another location that AlphaChannel could potentially go to. If he's looking at his tracker, he can reason through that it's not a pedestal seed, so he doesn't have to clear pendant dungeons. Uh,
Hopefully he remembers to go check Hype Cave before he, makes his return trip to Thieves Town.
well, actually, from Alpha's channel's point of view, it could be a pedestal seat because Mirror could be on pedestal with his knowledge.
Oof, yeah.
Yes, if we see him do Thieves Town and then Tower of Hera, which will give him Quake in Thieves Town, and then that would give him Turtle Rock access. That would be a clear indicator that he just forgot about Hype Cave, unfortunately.
Him, Fire Rod is locked behind the mirror, so he won't be pulling the pedestal this seed.
Oh, that is good news. Thank you.
So no matter what, like, even if he gets like baited into Turtle Rock, it should hopefully not be that bad a check.
Yeah, hopefully the first item in Turtle Rock will be an arrow upgrade or something that has no progression.
Yeah, not a small key, assuming. But hopefully he goes Hype Cave into Pyramid into Catfish or something like that.
Yeah, I forgot that the Fire Rod was mirror locked. That definitely makes that a lot better. It still doesn't mean he can't clear Thieves Town and Tower of Hera before he realizes, because he doesn't know Fire Rod is mirror locked.
Yeah.
Alright, well, VinylKnight picking up that Go Mode Meyer key, heading directly to Vitreous. I don't need no stinking items in this dungeon. AlphaChannel, buddy, where do we go next? This is the moment of truth.
Right, he went to his house. He doesn't have the flute out.
That's a good place. That's a good place to start. Going south. Right there, that's the right compass direction. Alright, this will be real Hype Cave hype. Alright. Keep going. Don't go up. Don't go up. No, why? No. Oh, no.
Ooh.
No. Oh,
No.
that hurts. Oh, it hurts on the insides. Yeah, that's either a mismarked tracker or forgot at that point. That's, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, you really just hate to see that, yeah.
Yeah, if it was something like the mitts or a hammer, that at least really locks your locations down. But the mirror doesn't lock too much, and he just has so many other places he can go. It's going to be a long time before he's really forced to just stare at his map screen and go through all the locations in his head to try to remember one of them.
He just has to think about what he checked, what he didn't check.
Yeah, that's hard to do while you're racing, though. I mean, like, you can, if you run out of places, then you'll see the runner. They'll open their map screen, and then they'll just be standing there for a minute, and then it's like, oh, then they'll go to the right place because they remembered. But as long as he's looks like he's gone up to Tower Hera or checked the Ether tablet. He's got other places in his mind that he's focusing his attention on.
Okay, this looks like the Spy Cave check right here.
Ether, Hera, and Spy Cave. Hopefully, rather than just Spy Cave. I don't think you come up here for just one item. Well, you could get to Hera by going around, but yeah, you're right. If you go this way, it's only Spike Cave.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nimban is right. I mean, I was making my predictions based off the route that he had taken, which could only lead here. But we find our fourth sword. That's kind of the seed insulting you at the with the sword there.
Yeah. Not huge as finding the tempered sword when you just have master, like it flung Ganon maybe, but yeah, it's not that huge.
Okay, so now he's going to Hera. Can I get away with it now, Nimban? It's allowed. Iceman has given us permission to call this a Hera play. Thank you. VinylKnight making nice work of his go mode fire rod on those Lambos. Ran out of magic and had to finish him off with the sword, but just has one dungeon left, and it's a quickie.
You pretty much just head straight for Moth at this point. Don't even need to grab the big key.
Yeah, Hera's not going to pay off, and I guess we're going to see a Thieves Town play next from AlphaChannel. So chat saying, I bet he'll never forget Hype Cave again, but you play enough races and every location gets forgotten at least once. The list of things that I'm always going to do that first, or I'm never going to forget that, essentially becomes everything at some point. Yeah. Iceman is calling it. You're not going to forget you're not going to forget Hype Cave for your next 5 races, but 50 races out. Hype Cave where's Hype Cave again?
Another location, you have to keep that in the back of your mind for another 5 seeds, and eventually it all just kind of cycles back.
The community of developers have made many variants of map trackers, and I recommend to everybody just take the time and use one. Let their work save you time. Yeah, map trackers are great, and trackers are great. Thanks again to Nimban for keeping on top of this, because there's been at least 300 or 400 times where I've looked down at that tracker so far this race, and that's not a made-up number.
Yeah, shout out to Nimban there.
So VinylKnight on his way up to Ganon's Tower, and not being a speed gaming channel, we don't have the leaderboard for the Big Keen Guessing game. J. Calcia still wants to play, though. Guessing number 12. Anybody else wants to play, you're more than welcome to play for fun. You can be internet famous while this stream lasts. And for anybody who watches the VOD, which is typically going to probably be VinylKnight and AlphaChannel only, but I will say your name live on chat if you guess correctly. That's an honor, Walsh, isn't it? I mean, you get your name.
It's definitely not.
Yeah, read out on chat.
I think over on Speed Gaming, AlphaChannel is actually the top big key guesser, so yeah, is that going for him?
Actually, I think you're right. AlphaChannel used up all his logic karma on the guessing game and not on Hype Cave.
So that Speed Gaming leaderboard, you know, that's forever, you know.
That's for 7 more weeks anyway.
Up the tower, do you have any guesses on where the big key's going to be?
Well, we're in the tower, so I can't guess. It's kind of cheating at this point. I'm going to refrain from guessing.
VinylKnight. Doesn't really do anything, but hey, look at that.
It's always good to find out what the stun prize is in Ganon's tower. It's a bomb. Yeah, now, I mean, this is an interesting question. Does AlphaChannel head up to Turtle Rock, or does he do a pedestal check? He has the book. I mean, how committed are you to this route? I think you have to.
I think might be.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that, like, given his situation, I think that he thinks that Turtle Rock is the only location he has left.
Why? I know we discussed this before, but he could think that the mirror is on the pedestal because the fire rod could be in Turtle Rock. I'm saying based on the knowledge that AlphaChannel has. Alright, so heading on to nothing in Randomizer Room, which is normally my pick. I like Randomizer Room. We're got 4 more chests, and then this will be a full left side clear. And Vinyl, I think, is still he's got 4 hours to spare for this Ice Armos fight, so I think we might see Sword Ice Armos also.
Shovel that he found on Uncle might be important because we may have to go digging for arrows before we do mimics. Arrows for mimics right here.
Yeah, shoveling outside is never fun, hoping for arrows. He's got enough. There's God, I almost said there's 10 in this back left chest, but that's of course in NMG. Whoops.
Kind of close.
Knowing where the arrows are is an important thing. It just has to, you know, be the correct game mode to be applicable.
Yeah.
But yeah, five arrows is enough for the mimics. There's a 5-arrow under a pot in the second room, so as long as you don't miss the first room, you do have enough. And when you only have 5, you take your time and you aim those arrows.
So it doesn't look like there was a small key in that first chest, so now Alpha's having himself a long think.
Well, that's the best thing that could happen, is being fire rod locked in Turtle Rock. This is, I mean, we've said it before. This is not a situation that you ever wish upon anybody. Even
Yeah.
VinylKnight, you know, in a race, you know, probably doesn't want his opponent to be in this type of situation.
Oh dear, tile room. But yeah, you always want to win because like you were able to outplay or outroute your opponent or something like that. No one wants to win like this.
Well, I'll admit, if I was like 4-2, I would probably be okay winning like this. But
I suppose, yeah, there are some situations where like you just want to get the win no matter what.
But I would feel bad about it.
Yeah, exactly.
So where is AlphaChannel going now? Knows he's locked out of Turtle Rock. Has done everything else available on Death Mountain. Maybe he thinks he missed some chests and he's rechecking spots.
Maybe what he's thinking, yeah, he's just retracing his steps at this point.
If you don't have a map tracker, this was a really, really difficult seed to do all in your head, because it opened up so many spots, all within a few minutes. Normally it's a lot more linear than this particular seed was. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4 well-aimed arrow shots from VinylKnight.
There we go. And then he'll get the 5-arrow pot here.
Yeah, fortunately the mirror shield lets him really, you know, line up those mimics safely. Just has to avoid getting knocked off via BMOS.
All right, he gets it.
Ah, take the ferry, man. Yeah, that's a good. Where are silver arrows? I'm gonna say left side swamp or Turtle Rock, because I mean, they could be upstairs GT, but that would be too easy. So left side swamp. That's my bet. We'll have to wait until Mr. Gannon tells us.
Yeah, kind of surprised that Alpha hasn't found it, given how much he's had to check.
Well, I'm 100% sure that AlphaChannel is not going to check left side swamp. So if that's where they are, we're not going to see them. When I'm at this point and I'm looking at my menu screen, that kill option at the bottom becomes really tempting.
situation. I encourage everyone in chat to, like, give your energy, will AlphaChannel over to Hype Cave. Just
feel the hype, channel
yeah.
the hype. Be hyper. Be the personification of hype itself. I don't know what I'm saying. So forget silvers. I want to know where. Oh, I was gonna say I want to know where half magic is, and it's apparently it's in AlphaChannel's inventory.
The one chest that he was able to open in Turtle Rock.
Oh, is that what it was? It was half magic.
I think so. Yeah.
Wow, what the value? Well, that'll make something easier, I guess. Goomba, are you channeling hype to VinylKnight instead of AlphaChannel? You have to channel it to AlphaChannel. I mean, it's AlphaChannel, not like Beta Channel. You're using the wrong channel, I think. That was terrible. I apologize.
You're fine. I appreciate what you were going for there.
Cross product could have pulled that off, but no, I'm worth nothing in the joke department. Okay. Why are we back in Turtle Rock?
Question.
I'll admit, those conveyor belt rides can be fun.
The places I need to, like, kind of collect where you are, kind of think about what you checked, what you maybe didn't check. Maybe this is just his favorite dungeon.
No, nobody's favorite dungeon is Turtle Rock. I'm safe in saying that, I think. Vinyl, nice Moldorm 2 fight there. Does not find the silvers. Red rupee in the final chest. So he is doing silverless cannon, but with a good 60-minute lead, probably going to be okay.
Alpha, I think he left one chest in here, so... Oh no, he's going back out. To see, like, yeah.
Yeah, just went and check his dungeon items, I guess. So, pretty decent Agatu so far. Got a last double there, finishes them off.
Yeah.
This is a very nice time. 137 heading into Ganon. I mean, he was able to skip Turtle Rock and Hera, but it's still a good time.
No one's ever going to complain about a potential sub 145. Sub 140 might be in play if he can nail the silverless fight.
That's definitely possible. Sub 141. I'll give it that.
Exactly.
I don't know what his potion situation is, so he's probably reluctant to use cape strats, which would... Oh, that is the perfect position for this phase, though. 3 spins in the corner up there, or 12 slashes with the lag cane, both work.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you can get up in the top right corner, you only need 3 tempered sword spins to complete phase 2.
Yeah, you get those 3 double hits on him. It's pretty cool.
So I hope
Yeah,
he has a potion. All right, he's got a green.
Yeah. Given some of the plays that he made in the early game, or in the mid game, he may be thinking that Alpha is like ahead of him, if not right on his heels. So I understand him wanting to take it safe here.
Yeah, even with silvers, and the torch glitch, you're gonna want a little bit more magic than that. I mean, you can do it with one. You can do it with one, one torch light, but the green potion is a nice safety. Ooh, a nice hook shot. Yeah, of course, serverless. Yeah, so it definitely needs the magic. But got the torch glitch though, so as long as he takes his time and doesn't waste magic on the fire rod, he has plenty of magic. Lamp does not use a lot.
Eight blasts with the fire rod, but then
a
lot more with the lamp.
Yeah, you can get triples with the fire rod instead of the doubles with the lamp, but it's just not worth the risk. A good rhythm and consistent doubles is, the safe way to go. And this is this looks like a very well practiced silverless Ganon fight here.
Yeah, making very short work of this boss.
Ganon is not giving him very good positioning though. He's blocking the torch.
Ganon has not been very friendly this seed, though. He's a final boss. It makes sense that he wouldn't be that nice.
Yeah, well, all the items were nice up front, so it seems fair that Ganon isn't. Get your GGs in chat, guys. VinylKnight, as long as he doesn't trip over his feet here, is going to be our champion, moving on to 3-3 with an official time of 1 hour, 40 minutes, 44 seconds. GG VinylKnight.
Absolutely GG, man. Alpha's just doing go ahead.
I was just saying I was typing an invite invitation and VinylKnight shows up. Welcome VinylKnight, GG. Hi VinylKnight. Good evening, VinylKnight. How's your week been, VinylKnight? So why'd you pick vinyl? Like it's kind of a 80s material. It's good for siding, but why not be like Steel Knight or something like that? Steel Knight would be cool.
Yeah, we cannot hear you, VinylKnight.
So hang on while we try to get VinylKnight's audio situated here.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Yo,
welcome.
We can hear you, yeah.
There we go. Yay.
Yeah.
GG.
I'm not sure why that didn't work. I had to just disconnect and then rejoin the group.
Computers are hard.
They are sometimes. Just like A Link to the Past, but not this time. That was a pretty quick seed.
This was a generous seed if I've ever seen one.
When I got Dark World access everywhere in Kakariko Village right at the beginning, I was like, oh crap, where do I start? And then needing the fire rod at the very end, I had no idea where to go. It came down to a choice between going into swamp or going into ice. I'm glad I made the right call there.
Definitely. You got Dark World access with the hammer, and then just in case that wasn't enough, you got Dark World access with the mitts.
Yeah, right after. It was so. Any questions? Like, I'm not sure where to begin with that one.
Walsh, I'm not really great with the Q&A. You want to take this one?
I think of a question. I thought I had something written down. So why did you end up going into the swamp before Ice Palace?
Yeah, I'm really glad I did that. They came down to swamp was going to be almost the same length either way, assuming that I didn't have to do left side. So I decided I was going to do swamp first. I was going to skip left side to begin with, but then I found the fire rod in there anyway, so it was all good.
For the fire rod, yeah.
So, sorry, I just wanted to interrupt for 1 minute. Unfortunately, AlphaChannel has decided to forfeit the race. He will be joining us momentarily in the interview channel, and we'll be able to continue this conversation with both of you guys. Unfortunately, at TheVinylKnight, he missed Mimic Cave, so he's still looking for
Hype Cave. Yeah.
Hype Cave, yeah. So he never got the mirror.
Oh, man, I was so happy when I found that because it was going to make routing so much easier. I was scared that there was something in Cave 45 or on the Graveyard Ledge, though, because I had done everything else in those areas. I'm glad there wasn't, because that would have been bad.
Indeed, I'm trying to like go over the scene in my head, and I think that the only item that was in a dungeon was that fire rod.
No, the red cane was in the big chest in Thieves Town.
Red King was Zora.
Oh, then what was... There was something in Thieves Town.
Quake was Thieves Town chest.
Oh, right. But I didn't need that because Turtle Rock was nothing.
Yeah, chat corrected me on that at least 3 times now, so I remember that.
Okay. Was that really the only item in a dungeon?
It may have been. We're joined now by AlphaChannel. Really sorry to see you have to go through that. But absolutely glad you could join us here. GG AlphaChannel.
GG's.
And if you're...
Maybe he's having issues too.
Yeah, we're not able to hear you, AlphaChannel. We had the same issues with TheVinylKnight, so you might have to restart your Discord. The seed broke the internet with all its progression.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I guess to start at the very beginning, I've had very bad luck with bomb seeds at the last couple days. I had a 2 days ago. That was my first bomb seed in like 3 or 4 weeks, and I just did garbage at it. And then I told myself I had to practice it, and I never did. But I had one more bomb seed yesterday, which also was pretty rough. This one I think mostly was smooth. But yeah, that scared me a little when I got those bombs.
I did notice in your runner bio it said your least favorite item was Uncle Bomb, so I'm assuming that still holds true.
Yeah, that holds true. It's the only one that there's any chance of going wrong. Like everything else, it's no problem. I can get through it. If I'm not sub 6, I'm close. But bombs is just rough.
Yeah, because you got to worry about like enemy positions and like your own bomb positions. Yeah, it's not that fun.
Are you with us now, AlphaChannel? Still no. You were fortunate, TheVinylKnight. You guys both had issues with bombs, running out of bombs. You had just enough though that you were able to pick up your hook shot. Unfortunately, AlphaChannel ran out and did have to backtrack for that. So it was a good 15-20 minutes or so where you had that hook shot advantage. Did not be too long though, because you guys got boots and flute and everything else super fast.
Yeah, it was still good to have early because it meant having something that I could actually kill with. Of course, the sword came along not too long after that, but still. That's one thing I'm always scared about with bombs too. It takes you a while to get something to hurt things.
I don't think we're gonna be able to get his audio working, unfortunately. So, moving on to 3-3. Where did you think you were gonna end up when you entered the tournament? This is your first tournament?
It is my first tournament, yes. I watched quite a bit in the fall, but I didn't play yet. I didn't actually start playing until January for Randomizer. For this tournament, my hope was to make it to brackets, but my actual goal was 4-3, so I need a win next week to hit that.
Well, definitely possible. You played very well tonight, and we all enjoyed watching this race. I do hope that you go back and watch the VOD at some point.
I do definitely plan on doing that. Oftentimes I've watched it like immediately afterwards, so as soon as this interview ends, I'll probably put that on.
Well, to help you get there quicker, unless you have any other final thoughts or Walsh has another question, I'll go ahead and wrap things up.
Alrighty. Oh, questions.
I don't have anything else for you other than just general GG, man.
Okay, thank you very much. That was fun. Thank you all for hosting. Thank you. I think Ninban was the restreamer and Iceman the tracker. No, that's backwards.
Inverse, but
well, thank you to both of you guys. Thank you to
awesome.
Tiru and Walsh for commentary. I look forward to watching this. To answer your question that I couldn't answer when my mic wasn't working, I chose vinyl because I'm a collector of pop vinyls.
Sorry.
That's okay. And I actually try to give those out during my streams. Anyone who's watching who's like a follower can play the big key game, and if they win, they get a pop vinyl. So I had my first winner yesterday.
Wow, that's pretty clever. I'd like the that's a really neat way to build the brand.
Yeah, obviously I don't do it during race streams because people can watch my opponents. It's just not fair to have that. But if
well,
you
don't want to just give away the vinyl left and right.
Exactly. But yeah, with that, I guess I'm going to head out. Thank you, everyone, for commentary, tracking, and restreaming. Thank you to my opponent, AlphaChannel. Thank you to all the administrators for putting this on, moderators for helping them out, so on and so forth. I look forward to 2 weeks from now for my next match.
All right, well, thank you for joining us final night. Reminder to everybody to check out TheVinylKnight and AlphaChannel. Unfortunately, we were not able to get AlphaChannel in the interview due to audio issues, but
hey, maybe I'm here now.
And
hey,
wow,
GG.
Hey, GG.
Hey, welcome, and
I guess I'll stick around for a bit.
Yeah, I guess we can do a few more minutes.
Hey, GG Vinyl.
GG. I had fun in that seed. I heard you had trouble with the mirrors, so that's unfortunate.
Yeah, you know what? Everything on my tracker is red, so this is actually, the first time since I started Rando that I just got completely stuck. Yeah, I must have mismarked something.
Hype cave.
Got it.
Yeah, sorry. You guys, this was absolutely a really tough seed to track as a runner. With so much progression, it's good that you're using a map tracker, but regardless, you had so many places to go. It really was easy just to get overwhelmed by the option paralysis, and just if there was any race where you were going to mismark something, it would be this particular seed.
Yeah, I saw everything open up, and then I just said, before I left Kakariko, there was even Dark World access. So I was thinking, like, hey, maybe I should try something clever and just walk right back up and try to go into Thieves Town early. And I just said, you know what? So much is opening up that I think this is going to come down to just efficiency, and I'm just going to stick to the normal plan and go on established routes that clears, just quantity of chests efficiently.
So
I
I'm sorry,
I
Vaughn,
was
go
thinking
ahead.
similarly, but it was the boots that pulled me to just go south. The boots and the shovel pulled me away from Dark World early. If it weren't for those, I would have gone right up there.
Okay, yeah, I'm thinking back. I'm trying to think of the routing when I right early when I skipped Hype Cave. That when did I quit out before going to Hype Cave? I think it was pretty clearly very early. I think I know I checked the dig spot and then went to South Shore and proceeded there through Dark Kakariko.
You had the frog at one point, and you save and quit with it, but I forget where it was. You'll have to go back and watch the VOD.
It might have been after hammer pegs.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I did. Right, I did hammer pegs with the frog. I left, got, went back around, picked up the purple chest, did Stumpy, I saved and quit from there because I had no way to get back to Gary to drop off the chest, and that was skipping Hype Cave.
So we knew from watching VinylKnight's run that the fire rod was in Swamp Palace and therefore mirror locked. So we knew that this it couldn't be a pedestal seed with Turtle Rock being a pendant. We did see.
Actually, when I checked pedestal, I knew it couldn't be there either. I was 100% sure of that, but I'm just like, yeah, I was kind of done at that point, so I'm just like, well, why not check it?
Yeah, it was a tough run, and I think everyone who's played enough of these seeds has been in that situation. You retracing your steps, trying to figure out something, and you were making a really good attempt to try to be as thorough as you could, retracing your steps there. But ultimately, when someone else not done, and you don't have the item yet, there's really nothing you can do. So it's totally understandable. Are you going to stick with us in round 7? I hope so.
Oh, of course. There were a lot of positives about this run that I really enjoyed. I'm never going to let one little hiccup like this impede me from continuing and having as much fun as I possibly can.
Well, that actually makes me think of a question. VinylKnight, for a lot of the run, you were behind and didn't get your first crystal for quite a while. Unfortunately, took some deaths in Eastern and then and Thievestown. Were you? What's your comfort level with those dark rooms?
Usually I'm pretty good. I can do the Eastern ones no problem, both the front and the back. I don't know what happened there that time going through. Like, you saw me leave the dark room with the 2 Igors, think about it for a second with 1 heart, and then I went back in. And then I almost quit, but then I got the key and then I died trying to get to the door. At that point, I decided I'd leave because going back in now wouldn't make a difference because I had all the items in it, so I could come back once I had the lamp or more health or something, or when I was ready to do pod. I forgot to pull up the map for the pod dark room. I usually have that for the maze, but I didn't, so I got stuck there, wasn't sure where I was, and so I mirrored out, and that was when I decided to go another direction before finally finding the lamp in Ice Rod Cave.
Yeah, the lamp was definitely a big early advantage that AlphaChannel had. Alpha, you were able to clear. You weren't able to combo Pod and Eastern with the mirror, but you were able to complete them much faster having that lamp. And also, that was the first fire source, so you were able to do Mire and Desert, ultimately racking up those crystals pretty quickly. But then, being mirror locked, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, that was, that's something that, I was pretty happy about. Like, when I was racking up those crystals, it felt good. I was just knocking off all these locations. I was doing it, what I felt was very efficiently, and it just made me, feel happy. And I figured, hey, you know what? It's just gonna show up eventually. And then, well, one time you mismark something, and that can be completely deadly.
Well, I'm going to wrap things up again. Do you have any last thoughts, AlphaChannel?
Nothing that hasn't already been said, other than, hey, thank you guys for the last minute restream, and I'm sure this was a good show. I'll have to check out the VOD of this. Thank you to our restreamer and our trackers.
Well, thank you very much. I'm going to wrap up attempt number 2, and there's no third runner to join at this point, so I'm pretty confident about this one. Once
GG
again,
Alpha, good luck next week. And I'm done. I just wanted to throw that in there.
I'll allow that. Yeah, GG to both our runners, and we all wish them well in their next run. Links are still in chat there for VinylKnight and AlphaChannel. Our tracker Nimban, absolutely fantastic, keeping us up to date, and our restreamer Iceman got us through all the hiccups. Another smooth stream from Iceman. Thank you to the whole ALTTP community and to the Twitch viewers for doing this, and to our runners for giving us the show. And of course, last but not least, Walsh, it's been a pleasure to co-commentate with you. I hope we can do it again. And that's it for me. Last word goes to you, sir.
Thank you for commentating. This was super fun. Real quick, Alpha, I just want to give you a shout out for the God Pixel and Thieves Town. That was incredible. But yeah, thank you to everyone in the community. This was a blast. Yeah, thanks.
All right, good night, guys.